It's time to feel uplifted.
To begin, come find a comfortable seat. We'll tune in with the Adi mantra, Om Namo Gurudev Namo, 3 times. I honor, I bow to the creative consciousness within, to the universal stream of consciousness, to all the teachers who've come before me, to this universal wisdom. Bring the hands to prayer at heart center. Rub the palms. Create a little heat, a little friction between the hands. And then a good 10 to 15 pounds of pressure as you press the palms into one another. Flare the elbows wide. Lift the sternum to the thumbs. Dip the chin, back of the neck long. Exhale all the breath out of the body. Inhale deeply to tune in. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale deeply. Hold, suspend the breath. Lift the pelvic floor, lift the gaze. Imagine your hips, your inner body around the area of your hips squeezing, lifting. Exhale when you need to. Coming around to all fours for cat-cow. So nice, slow movements here. I tend, if I try to do this fast, to just fling my body around. So instead, super deep, slow inhale. Can mentally chant Sat. Slow exhalations. Chin into chest, lengthening the tailbone towards the space between the knees. Let this be a reacquainting of yourself with your body. Really let the head go, gaze at the navel as you round. And then keep the back of the neck long, eyes at the horizon as you arch. You can increase the speed or just keep it slow and steady. Not part of the Kriya, but a lot of times when I round, I like to kind of take my booty a little bit left and right, just wagging the hips, decompressing the low back. The next time you're in cow pose, hold, breathe in, suspend the breath. Lift the navel, let the shoulders move back. Hold the breath as long as feels comfortable for you. Gaze at the third eye center. And then exhale as you need to. Staying here, lift the right leg behind you. On an exhale, you're going to pull the knee into the chest, chin to knee. And as you inhale, you take the leg back out. Careful not to open the hip up to the side or to fling the body around in any way. Keep this nice and rhythmic. So find your breath, your rhythm. We're aiming for 15. So it's cat-cow in the body. You're just bringing the right knee into the chest. And once you've done 15, just sit back on the heels, roll the wrists out. Interlace the fingers and roll the wrists one direction and then the other, maybe making little figure eights. And then coming back in to do the same thing on the second side. If you notice the wrists are tender, make little fists. Left leg behind you to inhale, heart lifts, exhale. Waking up the kidneys, making sure to keep the hips square. Gently activating the core. Good. Once you've done your 15, come to sit on the heels. The knees can be a little bit spread apart. And grasp opposite arms just above the elbows and let your arms just rest against your belly, your navel. We're going to bend side to side here. So inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Continuing this way on your own. So opening up the side seam of the body, intercostal muscles, just making this really peaceful. See if you can get a little taller each time you inhale at center before dipping over to the other side. Inhale to the center and hold. Engage the pelvic floor, lift Mula Bandh, lift the navel, gaze. Exhale as you need to. Just giving yourself a moment. And now staying seated on the heels. Of course, you can always come to cross legs if sitting on the heels doesn't work for you. You can also place a block underneath your seat. We're taking the arms in this goalpost shape with Gyan Mudra, so index finger and thumb touch. And we're going to twist the torso, so inhaling left and exhaling right. So make sure it's your left. Eyes closed, gaze rolled up and in toward the third eye center. Engage your abdominals, the core, pull the navel back to keep the lower body stable. As the upper body twists side to side with a powerful breath. Keep the pelvic floor lifted, core, navel pulled in and tight. Last 10. 5. Inhale at center. Draw the breath up the body. Pause. Keep the arms where they are. Suspend the breath. Gaze lifts. Navel lifts. Exhale when you're ready. Relax. Notice the energy unfolding from within you. Maybe even after just these first couple exercises. Staying seated on the heels if this is still working for you. You can also always put a blanket between your butt and your heels. If you have to come to easy cross-legged seat throughout this whole sequence, of course, that's fine. Draw your focus to the brow point and inhale. You're going to lift the chest. Exhale, round back. And you're just making this a moving meditation with the breath. Head is still, so chin stays parallel to the ground. You're just kind of isolating the upper back. Lower back moves a little bit as well. Total spinal extension and flexion. Close your eyes and just find your own rhythm. We're aiming to do around 54 flexes. Every in-breath, think of that mantra silently, Sat. Every out-breath, Nam. Keep your rhythm. We'll close this exercise the way we've been closing everything, with an inhale at center and suspending the breath. After 3, 2, 1, inhale at center. Really pull pelvic floor, navel, up and in, squeeze the spine, lift the gaze, dip the chin, lift the heart. Hold, hold, hold. Keep pulling the navel up underneath the diaphragm. When you need to exhale, eyes closed. Continue to inhale, thinking Sat, and exhaling, vibrating Nam. Even still here, see if you can find that connection with the breath, just absorbing the practice thus far. And then come into downward facing dog. So downward dog isn't technically part of the Kriya. The next thing we're doing though, is a hamstring stretch standing. So we're using this as a transition and also to warm up the back of the legs just a little bit. So in your down dog, you can bend one knee and straighten the opposite leg. And do that on the other side. Send the breath down into the low ribs and the back body. And then walk your feet and hands towards one another. And if you feel any strain in the hamstrings, like they feel especially tight, or you're feeling tenderness in the low back, bend your knees here. And you'll want to bend your knees deeply through this whole exercise. Even if you don't have low back or hamstring tenderness, I like to bend my knees as I do this. So we're going to be coming up and down 15 times. So as you're ready, inhale, bring the body up. I like to interlace the thumbs, although you don't have to. Arch back. Make sure not to dump or crunch in the low back. So lengthen the tailbone down. Belly lifts as you breathe in, and then exhale, fold forward. Perhaps bending the knees deeply. Let the back of the neck be long. Crown of head points towards the floor. So that's one. Inhaling and exhaling. Find your rhythm. Don't rush it. Ideally, when you fold forward, you are touching the ground, but again, by bending the knees deeply. And after you've done 15, the next time you're folded forward, just stay there, hang. You can let the arms hang down or hold opposite elbows. And just rest and relax completely here. So just let gravity traction your spine, bend the knees. Take the chin into the chest, back of neck long. Can move a little left and right. And bend the knees deeply now to come back to sitting on the floor. So we're going to come into a wide-legged straddle. This pose I know is not comfortable, not accessible to many of us. So if that's you, I just want you to bend the knees. You could even put cushions or pillows from your couch underneath the knees. Try to keep the feet flexed, but okay to have the knees bent. You can also take the legs closer together. Simple here. Ideally, according to the Kriya, we're supposed to hold our big toe, since there's a meridian point there that relates to the pituitary gland. However, even if you have a lot of flexibility, it might just be more comfortable to hold the shins. So we inhale at center and then exhale over to one side. So we'll go left. Inhale center and exhale right. Think of the spine staying as long as possible as you do this. Obviously, there will be some rounding, but the idea is that the back of the neck stays long, chin dipped in, heart lifted. You can always sit yourself up on a big couch cushion. Just hold the shins or knees deeply bent. Side to side. I love breathing into my low back, QL on each side as I do this motion. Take the legs a little wider if you can, so nothing extreme, just a little wider than you were before to keep going. So right where the low back kind of connects down to your tush, I always feel that this exercise really soothes that area. Good, and then inhale at center, so come up and hold, so breathe in. Pelvic floor, navel, gaze lifts. And as you exhale, come down the middle. So you might put your forearms or your hands directly in front of you. We're looking for a hamstring stretch, but quads should be engaged, and your gaze is at the third eye, and you're just breathing long and slow and deep. Not forcing, not trying to achieve head to the floor. I usually like to keep my arms straight, hands in front of me, just focusing on the breath as long and slow and deep as you can make it. Feet flexed, legs engaged. Inhale, maybe go down a little bit more. And then exhale, come on up, coming into butterfly pose. So if you have any knee tenderness or sensitivity at all, you're going to want your heels farther away from your pubic bone, from your pelvis. If you don't have any knee tenderness and you have a lot of range of motion in the hips, you can bring the heels closer to the pelvis, closer in. But make sure you're not rounding back on your sits bones, right? You want to be nice and tall. And from here, we're just going to bounce the knees and have our little butterfly take flight. So keep this, again, gentle, controlled, chin down, back of neck long. Any sensitivity in the knees, take the heels further away from you. Good, and now keeping the lower body the same, allow the legs to just drop. Bring all your attention to the spine. Inhale, get as long and tall as possible. Exhale, bend forward, hinging from the hips, and bring the torso down as far as you can. And just long, slow, deep breathing here in this fold. Again, breathe into the low back, the kidney band. Think of the sits bones heavy. Inhale. Inhale, come on up, hold, suspend the breath. Pelvic floor lifts, gaze lifts, heart lifts. Hold the breath in as long as you can. And as you exhale, come back down now. Hold the breath out of the body in this folded forward position now for 5 seconds. When you need to inhale again, come on up and transition to lying down on your back. Soles of the feet to the floor, knees point towards the sky. Technically, the Kriya asks to hold the ankles. So you can see how that feels for you. I find for a lot of us that might cause knee sensitivity. So I like to just have my fingertips grazing my heels as opposed to actually holding my ankles. See what feels right for you. Inhale, lift the hips as high as you can. Really put as much weight as you can into your shoulders. Exhale, lower them down to the ground. You're going to do this 12 times. So you can count out. Each time you lift the hips, think of all the energy we've generated and awakened from the bowl of the pelvis, rolling down to your heart center. In these kriyas, these postures are really designed to work the energy body. See if you can get a sense of how this gentle pump is moving energy from the lower chakras up into the heart. On your next one, inhale, come on up to bridge and hold. Suspend the breath in. Hold. Keep the breath held in as long as you can. Exhale as you need to. Let the hips come down to the mat. And then just extend the legs straight. Rest. Our next move is a piston motion. So staying here, lying on your back, pull the left knee into the chest. Lift the right leg a couple inches off the ground. And then exhale as you extend the left leg and draw the right knee in. So it's going to look like this with a push-pull motion. So it's not a bicycle motion, it's this piston push-pull motion. You want the breath powerful. We're only here for a minute, so really give it your all. If your low back is tender, you can kind of put your hands underneath your pelvis, face down. Back of the head is on the mat, just relaxed. Just about 15 more seconds. Good, and then inhale, hold both legs up, just hovering a few inches above the floor, so core is really going to turn on here. Breathe as deep as you can. Count to 10, 9, 8, 7. Core should be quivering. 6, 5, 4. Pull the navel back. This is the only core of the class. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Exhale. Relax on the back. Whew. Come into a little mini shavasana. So the kriya is not over. However, this is instructed now as a period of constructive rest. So just lie down on your back. Consciously circulate any energy that's grown at the navel point throughout the whole body now. Just giving the energetic body a moment to circulate, integrate. Pull one knee and then the other knee into the chest. Wrap the knees with the arms. Give yourself a big squeeze. And then pull the chin towards the knees, and you're going to begin rocking on the spine forward and back. So this is supposed to be a whole spine massage. I like to often have a blanket on my mat as I do this, and I find that I end up often rolling off my mat. So you're holding the shins just below the kneecaps, curled up into a little ball, rocking and rolling, massaging the energy that we've worked on, generating through the kriya, through the spine. This is also a nice moment to bring a little humor into your practice and laugh. Very good to always laugh, big belly laugh at least once a day. So this could be your moment. All right, last big rock, which is going to bring you up to seated, and turn around and lie down on your belly. Coming into cobra pose. So I like to start by kind of waddling my legs, my thighs behind me. So I just make sure that my low back has as much space as possible. So kind of creep your toes and your legs back. And then bring the fingertips in line with the shoulders. Send the crown of your head forward so you get even longer. Exhale. Activate the legs, kneecaps lift off the ground so you have an incredible strength in the lower body. After the next time you breathe out, inhale and finally come up into your cobra. Immediately dip the chin, squeeze the elbows towards one another, shoulder heads back, and begin a breath of fire here. So we're going to be here for 1.5 minutes. If you need to take breaks, you'll take breaks. I always like to lift my hands off my sticky mat to test that I'm really using my low back strength to hold me in this cobra. Inner thighs lift, meaning pinky toes roll down. Kneecaps are off the ground. Back of the neck is long, so that often means we need to dip the chin a little bit more than we think, and then navel is snapping back away from the mat. Last 30 seconds. Focus on the third eye center. You can come back to that silent mantra to carry you through. Sat Nam, Sat Nam, Sat Nam. Beautiful. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay up. Open your eyes. Look at me on the screen. Twist left. You want to look at your left heel over your left shoulder. Hold the breath in the body. So huge inhale once you find this position. Try to count to 15 if you can. Exhale, center. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, twist right. Look over the right shoulder to get a glimpse at the right heel. Deep breath in. Once you find the position, hold 15 seconds. So you're keeping the breath suspended in the body. I know it's a lot. Keep the legs strong, hamstrings engaged. This is a big moment. Exhale at center. If you need to come down, you come down. We're doing this again. So inhale. Looking to the left. Exhale, center. Inhale, right. Twisting. Engage the legs a lot. Exhale, center. Inhale at center. This is it. Engage the legs. Firm through the legs as long as you possibly can. Think of pressing the toes down. Lift. Squeeze the elbows. Suspend the breath a little bit longer. Lift as high as you possibly can. You've got this. You've got this. Exhale and relax down. You can rest one cheek to the side of the mat, or I like to take my forehead onto my palms. Breathe into the low back. Wiggle the hips a little side to side. And then press back into child's pose. Should feel really good on the low back after that cobra. Ideally, forehead comes to the floor. If not, you can always use a block. And in this particular variation of child's pose, we're going to interlace the hands behind the back and stretch the arms up towards the sky. So for some of you, this may be like a big shoulder stretch, just trying to interlace the fingers, reaching the knuckles towards the ceiling. If you have a lot of flexibility in the shoulders, get the heels of the hands touching, and it'll actually feel like your knuckles now want to drop to touch the mat just in front of your head. So wherever you are, long, slow, deep breathing. We're drawing the energy into the upper back. Take a deep breath in. Send the fingers, the knuckles up and over a little bit more. Breath held in. Exhale as you need to. Just relax. Press yourself up to a cross-legged seat, coming into my favorite of all the Kundalini postures, Sufi grind. So just sitting in an easy pose, hold the kneecaps with the hands, and then rotate the body in circles while trying to keep the head still. It's just kind of along for the ride. Visualize your torso here as a downward pointing giant golden spoon. And if you've ever had a delicious soup, you kind of scrape the edges of the bowl with the spoon. Imagine your torso as that spoon now, scraping the insides of the bowl of the pelvis, just making it really juicy. Feeling into the hips. You can use the arms for leverage. Reverse the direction now. Another analogy I like here is like you're grinding or greasing a wheel. So slow, powerful. Good. And then come to center, breathing in. Root lock. Lift the navel, lift the gaze. Exhale completely. Staying in easy pose. You might need to look at me for this one. So we're going to inhale, draw the elbows back. Exhale, swing the arms across the chest, and I like to try to reverse which elbow is on top each time I do this. Inhale again, draws the elbows back, and exhale, you swing the arms up over your head. So it's actually quite easy to do when you do it fast. So let's begin. Join me now if you haven't already. And now let's chant. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. You can chant out loud or just think it silently. I love to think here as that I'm splashing holy water or nourishment as I throw the arms over my shoulders. This is a great place to also get out some aggression as you take the elbows back. Last 10 seconds. Good. Inhale, draw the elbows back. Breathe in, suspend the breath. Stretch the chest forward. Suspend the breath in. Pull the pelvic floor up and in. Lift the gaze. Hold, hold, hold. Chest is bursting forward. Exhale, relax as you need to. Keeping the spine straight, hands on the knees. Elbows stay relaxed, face stays relaxed. We're just going to inhale and squeeze the shoulders up and exhale, let them drop down using a powerful breath, around 54 times. So this is said to actually really relieve shoulder tension. Keep the breath really powerful. Let's do 5 more wherever you are. 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, inhale, squeeze the shoulders up. So I actually like to press down into my legs, dip the chin, keep the breath held in. So I'm like a tortoise or a turtle who's totally has inside its shell. Hold, hold, hold. Exhale as you need to. Shoulders drop down. Nice. Little counterbalance to that. Drop the chin into the chest and just make some gentle circles with the neck. Any cervical disc issues or tenderness in the neck, I like to just do half moon, so left ear to left shoulder and then right ear to right shoulder. So stick with that unless you really like to take the head in a full circle. Gently stretching out the neck. Good. Take the head back to center. Final 2 postures here. So we're coming back to sitting on the heels. If that doesn't work for you, of course, you'll stay in an easy seat. Otherwise, you're sitting on blankets, block, whatever you need to make it work. Sitting on the heels and coming into a Venus lock with the hands. So ladies, you'll have the left thumb over the right. Gentlemen, you'll have the right thumb over the left. Arms are straight. Your focus is at the brow point. Inhale up and exhale with a sharp breath. It's like you're chopping wood in front of you. Around 45 times. So this is your moment to really cut a clear path for yourself forward. Keep the navel engaged, lower body strong and steady, elbows straight. And you're cleansing the electromagnetic field around your body here. Gaze at the brow point. Strong, focused gaze. Just chopping through negativity. Forging a clear path for this day ahead. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Arms overhead. Squeeze the pelvic floor. Lift the gaze. Hold, hold, hold. Exhale, relax. Palms face down on the thighs. Observe how, even though the physical body is still, the energy body may be still moving. Let that settle a bit. Last posture here, fingers interlace, this time palms facing towards the ceiling, straight up. Inhale deeply. Exhale all the way. Inhale part way. And breath of fire. Just about 30 really strong seconds here. So really give it your all. Pump the navel. Really feel like the navel is pushing the exhale out of the body. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, hold, pull the pelvic floor up and in, navel in. Focus at the top of the skull. Hold, keep holding. Squeeze the spine. Think of the spine like steel. Squeeze the muscles around the spine. Hold, hold, hold. Exhale. Turn the palms face down. Gently bring the arms down. Close the eyes. Shift in to easy pose when you're ready. Very simple, just one hand on top of the other in your lap, palms face up. Just meditating silently. See if you can sense the essence of Sat on the inhale, Nam on the exhale. Sitting completely still and consciously expanding, projecting light, love, peace, radiance into your auric field. Meditating here. The beauty of you being at home and us practicing in this virtual space together means that you can stay seated here in meditation for as long as your schedule permits. If you know you only have 60 minutes to practice, this would be the moment to lie down in Shavasana. Essential to lie down in Shavasana, to allow the intelligence of the prana, the life force we've awakened through all these postures, the time to go where it needs to go in the body. Cushion under the knees is great. Eye pillow or cloth covering the eyes staying seated in meditation or shavasana. Continue to stay in shavasana or your seated meditation. Allow the energy to continue to integrate. If you have to move on, wiggle fingers and toes, run the thumbs over the pads of the fingers, pull one knee and then the other knee into the chest. Maybe take one of those rock and rolls that we tried earlier to come up to a comfortable seat. If you're staying in meditation or shavasana, you can just receive this Satnam. Otherwise, rub the palms. Prayer at heart center. Breathe in and out. Inhale for a long Sat, short Nam to close our practice. Deep breath in. Sat Nam. Bring the thumbs to the third eye center. If you like, you can bow forward. Wishing you the most beautiful day ahead. Namaste. Sat Nam.